Well, hello and welcome to Space Haven. So I picked this up on like a recommendation from a friend of mine and kind of mentioned it as kind of like a similar to RimWorld. So this whole thing that I'm going to be doing today is for those of you who have joined me because you enjoyed RimWorld. It also kind of gives me like an oxygen not included kind of vibe. It's not one to one because oxygen not included is 2D. This is an isometric pixel game, and it's not quite as weird as Oxygen Not Included. Also, it just came out of early access. They finally got the update. I will say that this game is deep, but not RimWorld deep. RimWorld has got a lot going on, and this game is a little more surface level, but it's really fun. I've dumped a few hours into this. I don't even want to think about how many it is. Just kind of, and I haven't even had it for all that long, but I wanted to kind of show it off because small games like this are something fun, and I think it's like a little guilty pleasure, especially since it's kind of sandboxy. So let's pick a mode. Now there's 3 modes. There's the tutorial mode that I didn't play all the way through, and I probably should have because there's a lot to do with this. There's the basics. As you can see, I didn't do mining or hyperspace jumps. There's drafting and derelicts. We'll talk about that, as well as management, which includes fire breaches and comfort and ship stuff. And for the most part, I was actually able to figure out like what I wanted to do and what I needed to do. So it wasn't a big deal. I think derelicts were the only thing that I really struggled with. Everything else that I've struggled with has just been like things that you're not gonna learn about in a tutorial. So there's actually 2 other mode types. There is normal mode, which is you're on a spaceship, and there is space station mode, in which you play on a space station. I've played both of these. I love the space station a little bit more than the normal, but I think that's going to be depending on what type of style you want to do. I find that the normal mode means that you're going to be moving around a lot more, whereas the space, like you have the same ship, but you're moving from space to space, whereas in the space station, you are creating a trade hub, so things come to you. I prefer that more. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But let's go ahead and just do the normal mode for today. And we're going to go ahead and just... there's 3 different scenarios. There's a small hope in which you build from scratch. There's an abandoned mining station, which I think... This one you can also build from scratch, and then there's a basic platform in which the game kind of gives you a starting point, which is kind of a good scenario to start off with. And there's 5 different modes. There's peaceful, which I've played, and builder, which I've played, which means that you still have problems, but overall you're kind of just learning the game or just kind of enjoying yourself. Medium is, I feel like, the normal playthrough, and then as you go up, things get a little rough. Let's just do medium today. And let's just kind of look at what we've got. I'm going to play for about an hour, and we'll do that. But yeah, as you can see here, things are a little lower in the lower. Like if I choose peaceful and I come down here, the base mood is easy. Overall, things are fairly unlocked. There's like very little danger when it comes to hazards. Great way to actually start by how to learn the game, because I found that on the medium difficulty, the game, or the peaceful difficulty, the game kind of hands you things, which can be very useful for learning how to play the game, and I like that. Let's reload. I'd love to get, okay, there we go. Just to get everybody out of the red. And then, so kind of like RimWorld and other games in which you have colonists, each of your people have an occupation. They have a trait which gives them boosts or whatnot. I love that this one is more prone to having mental breaks. That's going to be great. As well as skills, how much they can carry, how much accident rate they have, how quickly they learn. Surrender does have to do, there are pirates and stuff. It's space. Come on. As well as like attributes, which determines everything else. So let's just jump in on this. Okay, let's go ahead and just pause and just take a quick look at this is how the maps work. I'm actually glad I switched out my mouse because I was having bouncing issues. It was great. So this is our ship. Yes. What's going to happen, because we're playing the base game, is it's going to give us objectives, so it can help us set up things. But this is our ship, and this is where we start out. Here are our 4 guys. You can see that they are all in little spacesuits, that is because things are not well set up at this point. And the game will set that up for you unless you play one of the other scenarios. Just a heads up on that. We have things over here. So like this is ice. We can mine this stuff. Down here we've got energium? Energium, sure. And I think this is Hyperium. These are things that we're going to need in order to build other stuff. And this is a derelict. So what I actually want to do before we get much further in, the game is basically going to tell you what to do. But we're going to want to set up our ship. Now, quick view over on the top left. We've got all of our resources. We've got how much our ship is carrying, how much power we have, how much oxygen we have, how much food, our crew, which everybody's upset because they've been in their spacesuits, how much money we have, how many building tools we have. Also up here, we can go into the star map. This is our star map. There is a story. I know that seems weird, but there actually is a story. It's not just... I mean, it can be just sandbox, but not really what we start out with. Because we are on the spaceship, you can see like these little pathways. That means we can travel around the solar system, and this is our sun. But if we zoom out, yeah, the map, it gets a lot bigger. So there is a lot that we could potentially see. We can jump, we can do all sorts of things here. Also in here, we can see our different systems on our ship. We can see our crew and what they priorities are for like what they're doing, what their schedule is, what they are, this is kind of like what, if you're trying to teach them something, what ship that they can be on. This can be important if you've got multiple ships, which you can, and then if you have any robots, which we don't. In here, we have information about the apocalypse, which is fun, what missions we have, any data sheets we picked up, as well as statistics kind of across the board. Anything in red, by the way, with a red background is contraband, and the military will board you and you will get in trouble. We have a pretty significant research tree. However, as you can see, it's a lot less than, say, RimWorld, which spans at least 5 times this. I want to start out. I actually do want to go ahead and collect a couple different things. Oh, I actually can't because I don't have a research bench yet. But what we are going to do once we get the research stuff set up, we're going to be starting with botany. Trust me on this one. The tactical map is this, so you can kind of zoom out to see. And then this is the attack systems and stuff. And if you click on here, this is where all of your ships are. This is our current ship. Our ship is currently unstable, but also things like what's on it and what you can do and all sorts of fun stuff. Down here is the building stuff, and we're going to get started on that. Everything is pretty self-explanatory, though you may need to kind of look stuff up if you're new. This is where the tutorial stuff is very, very useful. And I'm going to go ahead and just plop down all of the things that I already know we need. So we're going to need a water collector, a water purifier. Obviously, we need water to survive. Things have not changed. I want to build... So we've got a ×1 system core, so I think that'll be okay. This determines how much you can put down. And this right here, by the way, is our power generator, which you cannot have a ship without a power generator, by the way. We're going to need a hull stabilizer. This stabilizes your hull. I don't know what to tell you. Let's go ahead and go into life support. We're going to need a gas scrubber. This removes CO2, and an oxygen generator, which generates oxygen. Spoilers. We're gonna need some stuff for this, but I'm just gonna plop down a bunch of things and we'll worry about that in a second. We're gonna need a recycler as well. And yeah, so the game is like, oh my god, there's so much going on. We're just gonna kind of ignore that for right now. The other thing that we're going to need is we're gonna need beds. We're gonna need 4 beds for our guys. Yes. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to make sure to separate. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to separate out our beds. Do I really want it to be that big? We're just going to move some stuff around. Feel free to play with things in this game. I think that's one of the reasons why when I started this game, I played on peaceful mode at first, because it really gave me a feeling of how this game worked. Which I like. Also, I'm going to make the hull slightly bigger because we don't have a lot of space. So I'm going to start by building out a couple more. We're working on it. Let me high construct priority on the tools because otherwise we're never going to get that done. I'm also going to build... Hey, give me my hole. I'm going to build an extra hole space up here so we can build a toilet. Make that a little easier. So as you can see here, it's complaining there's no ways to relax, there's nothing to do, blah, blah, blah. This, I'm not too surprised that it's complaining. It'll be okay. Also, I'm going to build a kitchen. This isn't perfect for now. We're going to want to move stuff around. However, I want to make sure that we've got kind of the various requirements in place. Okay, as you can see here now, we've built the tools, so now it's like, hey, you need oxygen, which we are currently working on. So I'm going to go ahead and high construct priority on both of those. Now, one of the things here is there is a fast forward mode. I tend to use it. However, the one issue I have with this game, and I haven't had it as bad since I've gotten a new mouse. So I'm scrolling out here. What my controller was doing was actually bouncing like this. So if I was zooming out, I was also zooming in, which was a huge problem. Sometimes the game has a hard time telling where your mouse is pointing, especially if there's things in front of things. So be very careful when using the fastest speed because you can, at least in my experience, kind of run into problems where the game points you in the wrong direction. So let's just go ahead and use the fastest speed because we have a lot to build. Okay, so that's okay. As you can see here also, the hole is currently being built. We have these little pod hangers, and depending on what you choose to build in those hangers will determine what those pods can do. These are builder pods. As you can see, it will build the hole for you like that. We also have a space shuttle. We'll deal with that in a second. Also, I'm gonna grab one person. Actually, let me grab Lisa here. I'm gonna go ahead and have her pick up an item. Is it Lisa? I want her... She can use a shotgun. Okay, great. I want to go ahead and equip all of my people with guns. Now, at this point in the game, it's not a big deal. We don't have to worry all that much about being shot at. Okay, so we've got 4 pistols. Okay. Also, you can see we have hull stability because they put stuff in there and made that work. That is not the right thing. I meant to put this under high priority, not the whole stuff. You know, it's probably fine. Also, since we've got this built here, one of the things that I really want to make sure we have, we'll move this around, but I want to make sure, do I want that there? Did I accidentally just delete that rather than move it? 10 out of 10. Right there. It'll be fine for now, but everything's going to be shifted once I do that. The scroll wheel on this is much more feisty than I expected. Okay, so now we need to build a thermal regulator. Now we have 1 to start with. However, 1 is never enough. Can you stop? I'm going to take my finger off the scroll wheel, though it is what I am using to move the thing. Let's build a regular thermal generator. I'm going to put it, let's put it over here. We go high construct priority on that one. Also, let's build another wall here so that I want the bedroom to be separate from the rest. Okay, let's go ahead and just... Oh, the other thing we do need to do if we go into power, these, so you can see here, these are saying, hey, these things are not on a high capacity grid. Everything is currently low capacity. We need to put in a small power node. It doesn't really matter where I put this. I'm going to put it here. And you can see that it's not on a high capacity if it's got the plug missing. All right, let's just fast forward a little bit. I actually really like these guys to have beds before tonight. As it's now telling me, yes. Can I get these constructed? They get a little grumpy if they don't have beds. Okay, so you can see people are moving quickly now. You can see here this is saying, hey, you can't get back here. That's okay for now. Oh, I need to build a light. Lights lower the chance of accidents. I'm gonna put down a floor lamp right in front of the bedroom. And just let the game kind of run for right now. We will, like I said, we'll move things around, but for right now... Okay, so good things. We've got pretty much everything built at this point. There's still a few things that are not currently being used, but it's telling us to mine an asteroid. So if we go over here, click on this asteroid, we can see, hey, we've got 6 ice here. So let's go ahead. If you click on mine, it zooms you out to the tactical map and it says, hey, you can mine up to 6 ice. And I'm going to select all of those. And I want to mine everything in here. And we'll do the derelict in a second. And also now it's saying, hey, you need to turn that ice into purified water. So if you click on the water purifier, click on refine. I'm just going to click on continuous so that any ice we get gets turned into water. Medicine cabinet, well, as you probably saw there, basically means if you have a problem and need medicine, you will have medicine. Also, when you jump into hyperspace, it's a very high chance that your guys will get sick. So we want to make sure we take care of that. Okay, let's just fast forward a little bit. Okay, and now it's telling us we want to go through a derelict. All right, so let's go ahead and start equipping our guys because we actually need multiple people to be equipped here. Actually, just come over here for a second. So you can see I've got people drafted. After we're done mining that water... Okay, let's give a pistol to you. You can undraft. Amber. Let's go ahead and give you a pistol. I'm a little nervous because I think in the easier modes you get 2 shotguns, but we do not, unfortunately, have shotguns. So Gabriella is actually mining up here. I wonder if we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. With 3 people, I'm going to select the other ones. I'm going to draft them, and I'm going to send them into the shuttle. And I'm going to click the shuttle. And once everybody is in the shuttle down here, I'm going to have it dock over here. And what's going to happen, if I zoom in... Yeah, I love the little, like, you can see that it's trying to, point you in the right direction with the animations. I like that. See? You see that change in animation? It's creating pressure to point it in the correct direction. I like that. Now what's going to happen is they're going to dock. Now, there's a variety of dangers across the universe. Again, this game is a lot simpler than RimWorld. However, I also find the difficulty to be a little different. All right, so a derelict ship literally just means that there is no crew, and in this particular case, it's taken some damage. Now you see that little red guy over there? That's danger. So let's put everybody here. Now these guys are shooting. Now these guys are good news. Okay, let me pause here. I want them to shoot at the... Okay, there we go. Did he take damage? I'm sorry, Lisa. Did Lisa take damage? Feeling a little unsafe. Nice. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, it looked pretty good. Now, since I'm playing at a higher difficulty, I really don't know how this is gonna run. I'm gonna try and be a little more cautious with how I do this. Ooh, we got a breaching charge. I'm not gonna pick that up. We're just gonna be able to transfer it eventually. Okay, so what we have to do is basically explore everything. There needs to be no black on the screen. So let's come over here. Now we could pick this up now, which might be useful if you're in like a derelict and things are going south very quickly. Don't ask me. Ooh, gosh. So that guy is gonna come out. Okay, he's definitely shot that guy before. Can he come back out? I don't want to risk my guys right now. Come on, game. Okay. Let me pull these guys back. They're still in danger zone, but... Nice. Oh, there's another one. Did you see that? Oh, nope, nope, nope. Cancel. Abort mission on that one. Okay, no, he's not gonna come out yet. Okay. Let's pull back one more time. Like I said, I really do not want to risk my guys if I don't have to. Okay, whew. All right, good shot on that. So it looks like that actually may have been it for the bugs, I'm hoping. All right, so as you can see here, we now have salvage available and we can undraft everything. If I pause, oh, it already paused before me. If we click on, well, actually you can click on anything here. If you click on the little derelict symbol up on the top right, or if you click on the derelict symbol in the center, it'll pop up with this little salvage thing down here. I want to salvage literally everything that I can, and I want to select everything in here and transfer it all to my ship. And that will be something that they're going to do. So actually what's going to happen is it looks like they're going to go to bed. Yes. Basically, it's telling me how to create a actual ship. So one of the big things that we can't do right now is actually go into space because we don't have any engines to do that. So everybody just went to bed, as you can see there. This is a good point in order for me to tell you about some of the conditions and stuff. So we talked about the skills. Also, they have status, little status bars here. Their overall mood, their health, how much energy they have, if they've eaten or not, which these guys have not because they were busy, and their comfort level, as well as like this is how they determine what their mood is. Also what conditions they have, which you can mouse over and see just things that are going on as well as what's in their inventory. Now, right now things are a little rough for a variety of reasons. The biggest thing being, of course, we don't really have a ship. Now, we're currently in like rest airtime, which you can actually override, by the way. This is free time, and you can actually tell them to go do something whenever you want by overriding their schedule. They're going to currently eat. They also get complaints if they don't have a table. Who left? Gabriella, I'm guessing you ate without table. She doesn't seem upset. She seems fine. So much like RimWorld and other games that are, you know, like I said, similar to this, people tend to be a little whiny, and it's always fun. I'm gonna build an extra hull because we're gonna want to build those drives, and you can see, kind of hard to point, but it takes 4 squares of hull in order to put it down, and behind it you can kind of see, like, to the right there, like all those gray squares, that's where you're not going to be able to build afterwards. So I'm going to just fast forward, because what they're going to do is they're going to start basically working, and as you can see all of the little ships coming down here, they're going to start breaking things down. So what happens, they're going to be salvaging stuff, and they're going to be getting soft scrap, infra scrap, tech scrap, and hull scrap. There's low amounts of hull scrap, medium, you know, blah blah blah. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Now what we want to do is actually go over to the recycler here, and we're going to recycle, and I want to basically recycle all of these things when we get them. So if we got rubble here, I want to continuously break it down. Now it's going to be like, I don't have the stuff for that, but that's fine. Hey, I want to deconstruct my soft scrap into soft blocks. Now, from what I understand, the higher level difficulties, you don't get blocks. So like the tech scrap would not break down into tech blocks. It would break down into the things needed to make tech blocks, which makes things more complicated. So, and as you can see here, the shuttle is coming over here because what it's going to do, let me go ahead and just fast forward so you guys can see. A couple people are going in there to grab the supplies, and also they can break things down. So the builders are going to break down the things that can be built, and these guys are going to pick up everything else and break down other things. And you can see they're going to load stuff up. Loaded that up. There we go. So you can see it's breaking down whatever that was. Was that a console of some sort? And it's going to be broken down into different scrap. Now, as you can see here, it's like, shit's gone wrong. Well, it's because all of the stuff that's being unloaded from the shuttle has kind of overwhelmed things. We only have 4 guys and everybody's doing quite a bit. I wouldn't really worry about it. I'm going to be honest with you. At this point in the game, it's not an issue. They have plenty to do. But as you can see, Gabriella there is grabbing the scrap and is turning things into whatever needs to be recycled into. But I do want to get this kind of taken apart. It's going to be pretty important. Now, the other issue that we have, we don't really have a big issue with it right now because we have 19 days worth of food. That's not going to sustain us, and it's not going to remain 15 days worth of food. That just told me that the ship storage is full. We're gonna need to handle that. Let's build another storage. Wow, I really don't have a lot of space. I did not plan this out well at all. Oh, that's an asteroid one. There's 2 separate types of things. Let me go ahead and high construct. There's 2 separate types of storage. There's large storage asteroid and there's large storage non-asteroid. Because you still have stuff for the station stuff, you can still build these. And it's actually important because there are quests in this kind of mode to build space station stuff for other people, basically. So they're gonna go get some sleep. Now, early on in the game, I'm not too concerned with like enemies or anything like that because the game isn't going to be screwing with you too much. I don't know about higher difficulties. I don't know if it's like RimWorld where it's Randy and you put it on. It's fun to lose and the game regularly decides that you need to get wrecked if you do that, and then you load in and literally 30 seconds after you start the game your guy ends up with the flu and you're playing on brutal naked and alone, and you almost die, and then somehow you survive, but then you get eaten by a, I don't know, badger or some shit. We're not quite there, but it's possible. The other thing that we don't currently have, let's build a personal entertainment center. We're gonna need more entertainment, but for right now, it'll at least get that in there so we make sure we have one. I'm gonna want to move things. Now, one of the big things, let's just let everybody run. If I click on the bottom right, it says view modes, you can kind of start to see some modes. So like here's water vapor. There's not a lot in the station. Our CO2 levels are, oh, I'm sorry, this is hazardous smoke. We're good. The CO2 levels are safe. Our oxygen levels are high. Any isolated areas, what our jobs are. This is comfort. There's 3 types of comfort: sleep comfort, leisure time, and work comfort. Everything kind of sucks right now except for sleep. That's okay. What the temperature is, yellow is hot, like right here it's kind of a little bit more yellow. And then energy, what's on a grid, what's not on a grid, what's on a high grid, sort of thing. So you can kind of see that the leisure stuff is going to be a problem. So we're going to want to solve that. Did I not build? I'm going to build one more. I think I did build. But we're going to need more space so we can get around those engines. Because that's going to be a problem. I'm already going to tell you that. I'm going to build a navigations console down here just for shits and giggles. Now, I have looked at people's Space Haven ships, and oh my god, y'all are crazy. Oh, actually, a couple different things here. First of all, as you can see, the derelict no longer has that little symbol underneath it. So if I take a quick look at that, that means that all of this is salvaged and there's nothing more to transfer. We have completed that. Additionally, there seems to be a couple items in space. I'm going to click on those and then I'm going to select them because that might be useful. And then additionally, I'm going to go ahead and select both of these asteroids and we're going to mine them. The engine or the it's energy engineering energy energium. That's a hard word to say. And the Hyperium is for fuel. This is for kind of fueling everything else that's inside. But I want to build that level out here. So it looks like they're going to be kind of doing stuff while somebody goes out and mines. I'm hoping somebody will build stuff. Oh, we're building the navigation console here. Okay, that's looking good. So we just need the 2 Hyperium hyperdrives at this point. However, I want to make sure we get that extra level because I think we're going to need it. And go ahead and pause this. Let's put these... I'm just going to plop one to start with because we're not done with the other one, the rest of this. It's not actually going to matter where these are on the ship other than they need to be on the ship. Let's see here. Put that there. These 2 do need to be... Can you stop? Thank you. These 2 do need to be on a... Am I on that? I am. I was like, what's going on? Let's put it here. We're gonna move some stuff around anyway, but since I don't really care too much about this, we're at least gonna just get started. I say I don't care, but it's not so much that I don't care, it's just it's just a trial. All my guys are busily moving. All right, so now, pause. It wants us to build some point defense turrets as well as some operations consoles so that we can operate stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's build an operations console. Can I put that down here? Should be good. And then a point defense turret. Ooh, I'm gonna start by putting one down here. We're also going to need some power for that though. Is that gonna be... I think if I put this here, it can actually hit all 3 of those. Let me find out. As you can see, I just moved it. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna break it down and just shift it. As far as I can tell, it doesn't use any additional items to do that. Except for everybody has to rest first. Now the other issue is we need to start growing food, probably pretty close to stat. There's a variety of different ways to do that. Mostly it's just 3 different grow beds. We also have an algae dispenser, which isn't great, but you won't starve. Highly recommend only doing that if you are close to starvation. We're gonna do this and we're just gonna get all of this taken care of before we jump for the first time. And they will absolutely stand on top of each other trying to go to the bathroom, which is weird to me. Looks like we're still mining. Almost done mining. Okay, so this is like, hey, we're not on the grid. Turn that off. Wants us to build a research lab, which we'll do in a second. Okay, so everything is where it's supposed to be. Let me lock this bathroom in place, because that's going to be weird. We'll lock the bedroom in place, and we can also build. Also build some things. Okay. The research stuff. I think that's in facility. Yeah, so we've got a research bench and a research lab. I'm going to put both of those over yonder. Sure. And then the other thing that I do want to do is I want to go over to food, and I'm just going to... Oh, I can't build that one. You know what? Let's just build a regular, like one of these to start with. Just to show it off. Actually, let me move this and put this here. That way we have room. All right, so now we can start researching new technology, and I want to do Botany O2. Just Botany 2. Now, Botany O2 gives us a CO2 producer. I like that. That makes me happy. But the big thing is it unlocks the ability to research the composter, which we're going to need to create food. So, all right. So we have everything at this point, and we can now jump. Now, we start growing. Probably going to start with root vegetables because I highly doubt anybody has botany level 1, botany level 1, botany level 3, botany level 3. So yeah, as you may have seen there, if you click on something, it tells you what the skill required is. Botany 3, 4, or 5. So we're going to only be growing root vegetables. They do need everything. You cannot survive off of just potatoes. You cannot survive off of just nuts. Each thing, I'm going to go ahead and show this. If I click on it, the fruit's high in fiber. The root vegetables, vitamins and minerals. The nuts and seeds give kind of those healthy fats, which everything else does. They will also get complaining if they don't have meat. So keep that in mind. Okay, but let's do a jump, and I think that'll be a good place to stop once we do the jump. So if you want to go to the prepare for hyperspace jump, let's go ahead and just start preparing. So what's going to happen is they're going to start charging everything up. Now, the good news is our weight, our mass is less than the mass that the these little hyperdrives can handle. So because that is in the green, that is great. What is the problem? We have the stuff. We have the power. Okay, let me just let this run for a second. And once this is done charging, we can click jump. And what's going to happen is the spaceship is going to vanish. And we're going to just skip the dialogue here. But basically, these guys are going to ask you if you want to start searching for Eden, which is the main mission of the game. And if you say no, you just get to do whatever. But I don't see a reason to do that. As I was saying, I don't really see a reason that you would want to just play in sandbox mode unless you just don't like the main mission of the game. As far as I can tell, everything spawns pretty much the same, other than the main mission has some additional stuff. And then you get, objectives, and you can choose things, and you can do stuff. And then, so since we're in jump, we can now go here. By the way, those little things generally mean that there's like stuff there, so we can get exotic ore, basic ore, and ice here. So if we zoom in, we can place our ship wherever we want, and we get our stuff. And this is what we've got here now. Here, ooh, we got a couple different issues. The thermal radiation is high in this sector, so we get to deal with that. Basically, that means the temperature is going to be a lot harder to deal with, so we're probably going to need to build at least one additional thermal regulator. As you can see, the temperature is getting very warm inside, so I would just go in here and dip one of these. We've got one in here, we've got one there, we've got one there. Probably dip one maybe over here. And then we've got asteroids, which is what this is for. It'll shoot down asteroids. And we can also go over here and mine stuff. And so this is all very cool. And just so you can kind of see, the space station stuff on the asteroid kind of looks like this. You build on an asteroid and things come to you. And if I zoom in, usually you can see, if I just fast forward a little bit, you can see things coming in or leaving depending on what's going on. Lots of derelicts on this one right now. We've got other federations, and yeah, I don't know. It's a cute little game. I have been enjoying it. Maybe if it goes on sale, pick it up. Maybe if it doesn't go on sale, maybe you pick it up, depending on what you want to do. I'm hoping, I actually haven't checked to see if they're planning anything in the future for like DLC or updates or anything, because it literally just came out of early access from what I remember. But I've been enjoying this, so I will see you guys in a different episode.